there's some issues with it loading up, so I just decided to do it again. But yeah, listen, we got the June 1st Riyadh card that was supposed to feature Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev fighting for the undisputed light heavyweight title, which we did find out yesterday. It's getting rescheduled to October 12th. They have I guess Turkey Al Sheikh has a December card, which I think is going, one of those, that December card is going to be the Fury Usyk rematch. And then October 12th, they have what's going to be the Bivol Beterbiev fight that we were supposed to get yesterday. So they already have things mapped out. And look, man, this guy is talking about Canelo Crawford like they have something cemented for both guys. I mean, Crawford's got a fight in August. Presumably, Canelo has a fight in September. And following that, with Canelo relinquishing the IBF belt, Crawford now is not like technically undisputed champion. Well, he's not undisputed champion at 147 anymore. You know, you start to wonder if this fight is, I mean, again, it is a big money fight. That's all it would really be. But there doesn't seem to be, at least on the surface, it would be for an undisputed or anything like that, at least on Canelo's end, because he's relinquishing the IBF belt. So let's just say, for argument's sake, it'd be for 3/4 of the super middleweight titles. Which, look, for Terence Crawford, for him to go up to 168 still and become a 5-division champion, going all the way up from 154 to 168, that's still a hell of a feat. You know, it's just the tag title of being undisputed won't be there. But I guess we'll touch on that like whenever, you know, the end of the year comes about, because both guys, again, particularly Crawford, has a fight in August that we know of. And then with Canelo, it's what does September look like? Is it going to be under the PBC? Is it going to be Edgar Berlanga? You know, nobody really knows, man, because at this stage, it's not Benavidez. And I'd argue, man, that fight is never going, even more so now, that fight is not going to happen, because there's just, even for Benavidez, like for a big money fight, yeah, fine. But it not being for all the marbles kind of spoils it a little bit, you know. But I called this, though. I had a feeling when the IBF pressed the issue that they were gonna kind of Canelo and team were probably gonna say, all right, look, man, we've done everything at 168. What's there left to do? Why do we got to hold on to these belts? Which is, again, why I feel they're just gonna relinquish it and then go on this award tour that they've been going on. But in any case, let's get to the topic at hand. So the main event last night, Deontay Wilder, former WBC lineal heavyweight champion, not lineal, I'm sorry, former WBC heavyweight champion, fought the the Chinese, I don't call him the monster, but Zilin Zhang. They call Big Bang Zhang or Big Bang Zhang. And this was really a crossroads fight for both guys. Both dudes are in their, one is already 40. Wilder is like hitting 40, he's 39. But they both have taken different routes in their careers, with Wilder clearly being the one that's been more in the scope. Again, former heavyweight champion. At one point, him and Anthony Joshua was supposed to be the mega fight that I feel was a missed opportunity on both sides. I'm not getting into the whole, you know, the zone contracts and stuff, but hey, there was an opportunity for this fight to happen almost 10 years ago, and they just, you know, the stars didn't align, so to speak. But Deontay Wilder's career and Anthony Joshua's went on, you know, in separate ways. And Wilder, he had all these title defenses, and he fights Tyson Fury. And it's pretty clear as day that those fights with Tyson Fury ultimately were basically culminated into where Wilder is right now in his career, okay? And In 3 of those fights, two of the 3, he took some pretty savage beatings. And with a lot of us, especially with Wilder at the age that he was at, you know, you start to wonder, like, all right, well, where does Wilder go from here, you know? And out of nowhere, he signs this deal with Matchroom, right? And he gets in there. Well, prior to that, he had a long layoff, fights Robert Helenius in like a 1-round fight. We didn't get much of a gauge, but then he was out for a while, you know, and he signed, there was a rumor he had signed this Matchroom deal, and then we find out he did, and he had a fight with Joseph, was it Joseph Parker? Was that the fight? Yeah, and a guy, again, Joseph Parker, who wasn't a very active fighter, managed to beat Wilder relatively easily, you know, and, you know, Wilder was on this tip like, you know, it wasn't my night and I'll be back. But I'll tell you that, to me, even from before, but that was more of a signal to me that he needs to retire. But, you know, they had all these plans lined up for him. Then, you know, Zhang was yesterday, and they were having a proposed fight for August 3rd for him to fight Jared Anderson. But, yeah, man, it's getting wild, man. Like, it was pretty wild that they put him in this situation. So I was like, all right, let's see how this fight turns out. And lo and behold, man, Deontay Wilder he's a shot fighter. He's a shot fighter. Even from how the fight started, how he looked, everything. He just looked like a guy that didn't belong there. And unfortunately, when fighters stay around a little too long, this tends to happen. And look, Zhang's another guy, is 40 years old. But Zhang fought his fight how he usually fights. He's a slow starter. He'll throw some punches here and there, but he's not this super seek and destroy kind of guy. And Wilder just, again, he was like letting you know, like, hey, I got this right hand. I'm going to throw it at some point. And we're sitting there watching it. And Zhang just, again, he didn't do a lot in this fight. It's just Wilder got out of position many times in the fight. He's always had very poor footwork. And again, he's never had like an authoritative jab. And he was always just looking. Every now and then he'd like shoot the right hand off, you know, like to try to get him, you know, off his game. But it really was a culmination. I mean, Wilder started getting hit with shots, but it wasn't until like towards the downstretch, like the 5th or 6th round, he started getting hit like pretty clean. And then I was like, oh boy, there's before he got hit with that counter, like that right hook, that kind of almost like hit him like the bridge of the nose. There was another shot he got hit with like the round before, where I was like, oh man, this is not gonna end well. And then lo and behold, man, like that was pretty much it. And he gets hit with a hard right hand, falls, and but they didn't show when he got, like, he hit the back of his head. So, but Wilder, listen, man, he's almost 40 years old. He hasn't looked good at all since these Fury fights. And I'd hate to see this guy get hurt again, man. You know, this is his 3rd stoppage now, since the second Fury fight. And I think he's had like a handful of fights since then, if not like 1 or 2. I think it's time for him to wrap it up, man. He's made considerable amount of money. Hall of Fame status and stuff like that, I'll let, you know, the boxing writers decide that. But he did have a series of title defenses for a lengthy period of time. Unfortunately missed out on like a monster fight with Anthony Joshua. Had those 3 fights with Tyson Fury, and, you know, unfortunately, man, it's just the way the cookie crumbled for him, you know. And I just think he's gonna get hurt down the stretch. So I would advise his team, and if they haven't already talked to him, like, look, man, we've kind of hit the end of the road here. So I don't know what's next for Zhang, because it just looks like the heavyweight division looks like Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois are gonna fight, and then we're gonna get that rematch with Fury and Usyk in December. And then however that materializes, Zhang, I think, is just going to be on the outside kind of waiting. And again, at like 40 years old, 41 years old, I don't know. I think Zhang is like what you see is what you get. So, but yeah, man, Deontay Wilder suffers yet another knockout loss. This is loss number 3. 3? Yeah. No, 4. I'm sorry, because he lost to Joseph Parker. So, yeah, I think this is the end, man. So, he's had a good career. Again, he was a knockout artist that I just feel ran into the wrong fighter in Tyson Fury. And like I mentioned before, it makes you wonder. Hindsight's 2020, we get it, but it makes you wonder how his career would have looked had he taken that fight or taken that deal with DAZN back in like 2013 or 14, when you know Lou DiBella was still promoting him, and he had a DAZN deal. It was like a 3-fight, $100 million deal that I don't know if it was Shelly Finkel or Al Heyman or whoever, which ended up leading to Lou DiBella being ousted out. But, you know, you start to think about it, man. How would it have looked like if he had ended up fighting Joshua like those years ago? And had he beat Joshua, he may have fought Tyson Fury after the fact, but I mean, I think he would have had like a feather on the cap. You know, it'd be like, all right, well, I beat one of my contemporaries. Because the way it's looking, he doesn't have a win over one of his main contemporaries. He doesn't. It's just he had those fights with Tyson Fury, and that was it. And he lost those fights. And well, the first one was a draw, but you know, however you want to, when you look at Usyk and Tyson Fury has a win over Wilder, or 2 wins over Wilder. Usyk has 2 wins over Anthony Joshua, and now has a win over Fury. So you see where we're going here. It's like the pagoda. He's been skipped over. So, but hey, you know, the decisions you make are what you make. So, but we'll see what happens with either one of these guys, or really everybody in total. But I feel we've seen the last of personally, I hope we've seen the last of Deontay Wilder, man. There's nothing else for him to prove. So, in any case, enjoy you guys Sunday. I am out. Let me know in the comment section what Deontay Wilder should do. I mean, I think a lot of y'all probably have the same sentiments as myself. So, I am out. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.